Hey, I don't think the numbers will jump up all too much here because we're not putting out any kind of alert, and who knows? I haven't done these Facebook Live things in quite a while. John Brewer says hi. John's my first guy in here. Jean Marie says morning. Good morning. Actually, it's afternoon, I think, where I am. Hi, DML. Amy Battle says miss you. Hello from New York. DML says Lydia. Jerry Larson says hey, stranger. And Nancy says boy, we miss you. Okay, we're at 500. I guess I'm going to start at this. I'm only going to be on this today for pretty much 10 minutes. I apologize for being 2 minutes behind the 8 ball in terms of I said I'd come in on noon, but for some reason I was having a really hard time logging on. Maybe it's because I haven't been doing it in a while. Facebook's like, hey, we thought we got rid of this guy. No. DML, you gonna shave soon? Yeah, I'll shave today. All right. So anyway, let's get the elephant in the room discussed, shall we? Elephant? What elephant, DML? Looks beautiful there. Yeah, I know it does look beautiful today, right? Not a cloud in the sky, American flags waving, the whole thing's going on. It's good to be alive, isn't it? Well, look, I wrote a scathing letter to the president last night, and I haven't sent it yet to him, to be honest. I'm going to send it this morning. I've been so busy this morning. I really would have liked to add more. If you know about my other letters that I've sent to him, the 30 previous, I've always kept them to 250 words or less, give or take 20, 30 words. And that is because I recognize the fact that he's a very busy person. He is limited in terms of the sort of bandwidth that he can give to these sort of things. And I just felt as if it was the smart thing for me to, keep it brief, to the point, and always supportive. Always supportive these. Sorry, my son was just trying to call. Always supportive. And to that degree, sorry, there's apparently breaking news. Of course it's breaking news when I'm on here, but he continues to try to call me. Anyway, long story short, I felt as if I had to make this letter long. And I actually chopped it down by about 500 words because there were other things that I wanted to say involved in where I think things are. And I just said, I'll save it for another day. Like you, I put an incredible amount of time, energy, love, support, reputation on the line to try to get President Trump elected. In fact, I defy you to go to Sean Hannity's. Hold on. I know. What do you want me to do? I'm doing a Facebook Live. He's trying to call me. I don't know what to tell him. Okay, I don't know what to tell him. Have him call Anita. All right? I'm on Facebook Live. What do you want me to do? Do you realize the fact how many phone calls I get? I mean, I get all these phone calls when I go on Facebook Live. This happened last time. Last time was the doctor's office needing to tell me, hey, DML, we need you to say that you're you. All right? Yeah. Now my son's trying to tell me, there's breaking news. Yeah, I don't know. What's the breaking news? It doesn't matter. Breaking news is DML's on Facebook Live. Anyhow, somebody will handle it. It's all right. The world's not going to fall apart for 5 minutes. But anyhow, I put, like you, I don't want to individualize this. A lot of people put a lot of effort into getting President Trump elected. And I defy you to go to, let's say, Sean Hannity's Facebook page and find one post or one video that has more than 100,000 shares. Not 100,000 views. 100,000 shares. You go back to my page prior to the election when people were sitting on that fence, the independents, because the independents were always my target, on whether or not they should vote for Trump or not. Over 100,000 shares of one of my posts. And when you go back and you look at some of the other posts that I've made about the Electoral College and all the other different things, and talking to people like they're human beings, not talking down to them, but explaining some of these more complex things that take place in Washington, D.C. and elections and what have you. I truly believe that I did play a very good role and strong role in helping the president get elected. Between my television show and my very popular posts at that given time, which we later transitioned into a full hour walk and talk. But if you remember, we used to get 11, 12,000, 15,000 at sometimes people on these live things. Nobody gets those numbers, especially on Facebook Live, because there's so much content. I did everything I could to get this man elected because I believed that America needed a few things. Number one, it needed somebody from the outside. Number two, it needed somebody who believed that immigration was the problem that it has been for decades, because it touches so many different things. I believed we needed somebody with business experience. I believed we needed somebody who knew how to handle the media and wasn't afraid to throw elbows around when in the presence of those in D.C. Sean Spicer resigns as White House press secretary. Yeah, that's another way of saying that President Trump told him to get the hell out. Another mistake. Another mistake. An onslaught of mistakes. Just an onslaught of friggin' mistakes. That's the breaking news. Unbelievable. We'll get to that in a second. You're watching the unraveling. You're watching it happen in real time. Anyhow, blame everybody else but yourself. So anyhow, there was always a risk with Trump. There was a risk that his ego would work against us. I made more videos saying about let his ego work for you, because I truly believed that he was so egotistical that he would want to be on that Mount Rushmore, that he would want his legacy to live on long after he did. I truly believed that that was going to be the case, that he was going to outsmart, outwit, outplay the media and the liberals. And that is what he did during that campaign, better than anybody in American history. He figured out how to get the media to cover him without having to spend the gazillions of dollars to do so. And yet, it's like the movie Dave. In the movie Dave, the president who is elected winds up going into a coma. And I think he did so because he was having an affair or something to that level. And so they tried to cover it up in the White House. And they go and they get a body double, Kevin Kline, who goes in and now is playing Dave. But he changes all the things that the president was never doing correctly. And he starts his own agenda. Of course, it's liberal Hollywood, so it's all a liberal agenda. That's the movies. And it's a different guy than was originally in there. This, to me, has been what it is that we have been going through. We have seen a different guy than the one that we expected. Now, do I want that to be the case? Of course not. It puts mud on my face. I got to eat crow. For a guy who always says how right he is all the time, I couldn't foresee this. But there was a few things that I've always said to you consistently. Number one, if you remember back to the walk and talks, I used to tell you that the greatest hire was Jeff Sessions. I told you that. I told you Jeff Sessions was the... You could take Giuliani and not take Giuliani. You could take this one and not take this one. The best person was Jeff Sessions. I told you that the fact that he was taking Jeff Sessions meant that the immigration issue that he was attacking during the campaign was really going to take place, that Jeff Sessions was a solid guy with a fantastic reputation who took no BS and played it straight by the rule of law. Nothing changed about Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions had to recuse himself. It is the law to recuse yourself. If you were involved in a campaign and now you serve as the Attorney General, this isn't some Department of Justice like code. This is the law. And Jeff Sessions couldn't foresee all these different things taking place. He couldn't foresee half the tweets that have been sent out that have sparked so many investigations. Sure, Comey is a knucklehead and has done wrong. Sure, a lot of these people all do wrong. But at the end of the day, Jeff Sessions isn't one of them. when I'm in this business 7 days a week. I'm actually, I think, sick because I'm in this business 7 days a week. I see every news report, every single thing that comes by. You don't see them all. Some of the stuff we don't even write about. And even the stuff that we do write about, you don't see all those things. You're busy living your life. Busy living my life means I see all of this. And I seen it before I started our website. And I seen it before we started our Facebook. I've seen it. This is what I do. You take all the people in Washington, D.C., and the one guy who's doing his job, the one guy who's not distracted by any BS, the one guy who keeps on posting on the Department of Justice website day after day after day of another thing, is Jeff Sessions. He is the only one who understands his job and who gets his job done day in and day out without any question. We just put out, it has been shared 160,000 times on our website alone. Last week, we put out the story about the biggest healthcare fraud scheme being tackled to the ground by Jeff Sessions. President Trump didn't tweet about it. You want to make America great again? You want to chalk up wins? You want to turn around and give the message out to people? Tweet that. There was no tweet. I sat there waiting like this. When's the tweet coming? When's the tweet coming? Where's the tweet? No tweet. Not a single tweet. But we're going to hear about Mika's facelift bleeding. We're going to hear about Arnold Schwarzenegger's stupid, crappy TV ratings. Where's the tweet about what he has done at the Department of Justice? Where is that? Is that you being vindictive, President Trump? Because that is not a president. Presidents aren't vindictive against their own team members. You complain. You complain about Hillary Clinton and her what did you call it? Crooked Hillary. You want Jeff Sessions to not recuse himself and to break the law? In addition to that, had he not recused himself, everything else that he would have done at the Department of Justice would have been pulled into question. And on top of that, he wouldn't have been able to do his job. He would be sitting here running against this crazy lunatic narrative that your son-in-law is only helping push by not giving up all the information that he should be giving up when he should be giving up. Your son, with his drip BS. No more free passes with DML. No more. And here's why. Because the people on the other side of this cell phone, the people on the other side of my website, and the people who come into this walk and talk, they do it for two reasons as far as I'm concerned. Number one is because they care and they like about who Team DML is, because they know we've always made it personal and we've always brought you into our lives when we do it. And we care about your lives. We've had people actually commit suicide or think about committing suicide during this show because they come to us because they say this is the only person who will really listen to me and who really cares. That's number one. Number two is because you know that I am never going to sell myself out for anything. I ain't going to sell myself out for a click. I'm not going to sell myself out for a buck. I'm not going to sell myself out so this way maybe I could get a job working for the White House or some sort of campaign. I'm just not going to do it. It's not me. You're not going to get it. I don't care that much about money. I don't care that much about power. I don't care that much about how popular my Facebook page isn't. I care about my name, my reputation, and the people on the other side here. That's it. You want BS? There's plenty of people who give it to you. You want the never wrong? Tune in to 10 o'clock on Fox News. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to give that to you because you deserve more. What the president did to Jeff Sessions is despicable, and it goes beyond the realm of what most people are even looking at. And this is where it is that I'm always coming to you with something, and it always comes out to be true. If you look on the surface of what he did yesterday, it is so much worse than just undermining your number one guy in terms of performance. You're undermining the Attorney General of the United States for keeping within the law. You're undermining the guy who basically brought you into D.C. Nobody in D.C. nobody in the media was even remotely taking Trump serious until Jeff Sessions got on the stage. And when Jeff Sessions got on the stage, they're like, wait a second, is Sessions smoking crack? Or does he see something we don't? And Sessions, slowly but surely, with his unbelievable reputation, brought one person over the next onto the Trump train in D.C. Now, you may not think that's important. You may think it's all the swamp. It's not. There is the swamp, and then there is realistic business in D.C. You need Congress. If you haven't figured that out yet, well, gee, how many major legislations do we have? 0. You need Congress in your back pocket. You need them as part of your train. And Jeff Sessions brought that over. Jeff Sessions also brought over all the immigration hawks and the people who have a lot of influence, like yours truly, and like Numbers USA, and like all the other different people who were involved in the immigration debate, who get people donating and supporting and marching, and they said, yeah, Trump is going to take care of this stuff. Jeff Sessions is the quiet guy behind the wall pulling a lot of the great strings that happened during that campaign. He put legitimacy into Trump's campaign. That's how it worked. Like it or not, I know what I'm talking about. And he throws him under the bus with the New York Times. You know, if this was on Fox News, this conversation would be completely different. It wouldn't be as bad. But he's been preaching to us on a daily basis. Some of you love it. Love it. Oh, I love the tweets. It's the only way I can get really what's happening. Really? Then why are you coming to my website? Why are you going to the other websites you trust? We're giving you the news all day long. You don't need the tweets in order to know it. We're going to give it to you. We're going to give it to you honest. We don't need that. That's our job. That's Sean Spicer's job. We're the communication outside. You want to tweet about the great fraud break that we did at the Department of Justice? You want to talk about the numbers at the Border Patrol getting better? You want to talk about the numbers at the border getting better? You want to talk about jobs? Let's do that. Let's tweet that all day long. But my Lord, this other stuff, I've been complaining about it forever. And it's just destructive, and it paints you into a corner. And Trump thinks he's going to talk himself out of this, and he's not. And here's where the problem is. He goes to the New York Times. The fake news, he's done it. I mean, Jesus, 900 tweets in his first 6 months. And most of it is about fake news. Most of it. And he goes to them? No, somebody's going to, because I'm tired of this stuff. You know, when you're not feeling the greatest, you figure out what makes most sense, what's most important to you. Okay? I'll tell you right now what's most. I gotta let the dog in. I'm going past my 10 minutes. Go ahead. Go. Sorry. You know, you start to work. You just start to focus in on what matters most. And what has always mattered most to me is getting out the honest word to people. That's who I am, and I'm always going to stand by it, even if I only have one person come on the walk and talk. He has slammed the New York Times, and in many cases, rightfully so. In some cases, not so rightfully so, okay? I don't like the New York Times. I know they're a liberal army over there, but they've been around forever, and they've always been liberal. And they've always defended Obama and Hillary and knocked down every single last Republican, including President Bush and President Reagan. You could go back. This is not individualized just to Trump. Okay? Trump is the first person to try to pour gasoline on him and light him on fire every single day, so they're going to come back at him harder, rightfully so. If you're going to throw a punch, get ready to get counterpunched, and Trump knows this. This is the world he's in. But to toss your own guy, who got you where you are, in addition to the American people, under the bus with the New York Times, it's like your best friend sleeping with your wife. You know, being cheated on is as bad as it is, but when it actually, let's not even say your best friend, it's like your brother sleeping with your wife. I mean, Jesus Lord, what's going on here? Why would you do that? I mean, there's something not firing right. And for those of you telling me that it's fifth dimensional chess, you don't know what you're talking about. And I feel bad for you, because I think some of you are just so drained from Barack Hussein Obama that you know deep inside that everything I'm saying to you is correct, but you fear of what lies ahead without Trump getting stuff done. And I don't blame you. I fear it too. But come on. Fifth dimensional chess, where's the checkmate? When does the checkmate come in? It doesn't. It doesn't come in. The checkmate is against himself. He has checkmated himself, and here's why. And this is what, for those of you who've been with me for a long time, you know I kept on putting this July 1 thing down. It was my own deadline, because I know how this stuff operates. It was my own deadline, July 1. If he did not get things under control, and he did not start getting at least one major legislation in by July 1, we were and are screwed. Why, DML? Why? It's only 6 months. I'll explain again so you clearly understand this. I pushed that July 1 to September 1 for one reason, and that was because Paul Ryan seemed authentic. DML, you must be sick. A little bit. He seemed authentic when he said that maybe the Republicans will work through the summer to get the bills for tax and health care done. And I was like, oh, wait a second. Okay, if they're going to change the rules, I'll change the deadline. But they're not. They're going on recess and nothing's getting done. And now what he did with the New York Times and Jeff Sessions, it is impossible for them to trust him. It is impossible. You may call it the draining of the swamp, but no, it's not the draining of the swamp. It is the empowerment of the swamp. Because the Congress are not going to support him. They're going to keep on kicking the can down the road. And I'll tell you why they will, and why they quite possibly will get away with it. And think about this. Think about this. This is 9th inning and we're in 1st inning. So you got to think about this from a strategic standpoint. This is what they do. You've got no health care, and it doesn't look like you're going to get anything anytime soon. You got no tax break, and you might get one. You might get one, simply because the Congress is going to realize they're going to need to chalk up one win, not for Trump, but for themselves. So what's going to happen is that for the next 6 months of this year, of which, by the way, almost 2 months of them are spent on vacations by the Congress, you're going to maybe get one piece of legislation through. Maybe you'll get the tax stuff through. And then comes January, and everything becomes about the 2018 elections. The news is about the 2018 elections. The Congress, especially those running for office, is about the 2018 elections. And so they are going to be in complete mode. Trump ain't going to be able to take advantage of this, because none of them, this is how difficult of a situation, none of them want to be connected to that right now. Because if they get too connected to him, they lose. If they're too far away from him, they lose. So they play it at arm's length. And at arm's length, nothing gets done. Okay? Nothing gets done. And so here's what they're going to bank on. They're going to bank on the fact that in 2018, you will still pull your lever for the Republican. Because you know that if the Democrats win any one of the two, the House or the Senate, it's done. Nothing ever gets passed. Ever gets passed. And so they're banking on the fact that even though they're not getting things done for you, you'll still keep them in there because you have no other choice. You have the gun to your head. And then, when it comes down to 2020, they're going to play the same thing. Well, we may not win the presidency again, but we'll at least keep one of the two, the Senate and the House. We'll keep one because they're going to want to make sure that we keep Elizabeth Warren or whoever it is that they put in place in check. So people will come out. Trust me, this is the way they think. But what he just did is he buried himself. He truly buried himself. Because, and then the comments he makes about Robert Mueller, this is only going to get worse. Robert Mueller is going to continue to dig and dig and dig. And the reason being is because he's not intimidated by Trump's threats. He's going to dig and dig and dig. And the more he digs, the more uncomfortable Trump gets. The more uncomfortable Trump gets, the more he's distracted from everything else going on in the country. We've already seen this true. I'm not making this up. This isn't a prediction. This is what he does. He gets distracted. He's all worried about himself, where he's going to wind up with all this stuff. And then all the other different stuff goes to the wayside. Robert Mueller is going to drive him crazy. And so what happens? he's then got a choice. I'll fire Robert Mueller. He fires Robert Mueller. It's over. It's over. Do you understand? Politically, it is over. He will never see another chance again. Politically, he will get annihilated because it will just basically come down to he's hiding something. And that Russian narrative all comes back driving in bigger than you've ever seen it before. I am telling you, save this video. There's not anything in it that I say that's incorrect. Nothing. So DML, what are you saying? Is it all over? No, it's not all over. Here's the one thing that Trump can do. He can shut the hell up. He can stop with the stupid tweets. He can stop with the assault on everything and everybody around him that doesn't agree 100%, including his own team members. He just got rid of Sean Spicer. Spicer's not the problem. It's the same thing as concept as somebody telling me they're going to delete my app because I wrote a letter to the president of truth. Delete my app. I don't care. You're not doing anything bad to me. You're doing it to yourself. You delete my app, a new person will get it back again. So what? You're trying to take out your pain on me. You're only hurting yourself. You're shooting the messenger instead of the message. It's a massive denial. Sean Spicer goes up every single day and tries to keep up with the crazy, zany crap. You met with Putin for a second time, albeit at a dinner, and you had a 15-minute, not 5, not 10 seconds, 15 minutes. You had a 15-minute conversation with Putin again. Would it matter if DML and Sean Hannity had a second conversation off camera? No, we're not the presidents. It doesn't matter what we say. When you're the president and you're talking to the guy who everybody says you're in bed with and sleeping with and doing all this crazy stuff, and you have a chat with him, yeah, it's going to be under the freaking microscope, especially by the New York Times. So the Fox News, your buddies at Fox News, pick up the phone and call the White House and say, hey, is this true? We really had a second conversation? Yeah, he did. You know, but it was just a conversation. It was undisclosed, but yeah, they had a second conversation. Everybody and their mother, including us, printed that story. Rightfully so. You come out and put out that it's fake. Actually, you said it was sick. Only the next day to go back to tell the New York Times that you were with Putin for 15 minutes talking about the same thing that your kid said that he was talking to a Russian lawyer about. Wait, what? You know what happens when you tell so many lies and you tell so many bat crazy things? You start to forget how they connect. The only way you can connect things is when you tell the truth, because there's no alteration to the storyline. I mean, the amount of crap we took just here at DML alone, that we put out fake news about Trump's second meeting, I couldn't believe it. And I was like, I actually yelled at my kid because I said, what did you put out? I said, Dad, everybody's reporting. Everybody, look at it. And I'm reading it, and I'm like, wait a second. How can this be fake news? And it turns out it's not. It was real. And that's probably why Sean Spicer's gone, because he probably confirmed it to Fox News that, yeah, you had a conversation. Because you want Sean Spicer to lie? Sean Spicer can't cover up the crazy train. That's what it is, the crazy train. He can't cover it up. You're changing the goalposts on him all the time and telling him that he's still got to kick the field goal. What is wrong? I mean, seriously, what is wrong? Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Sean Spicer said, I see where this is going, and I'm not going to throw my whole career into the freaking trash can for this. And you know what, Sean? I don't blame you. I haven't always agreed with some of the fists that you've thrown, but I'll tell you what, you had the most brutal job in America. And I hope and I pray that somebody on the other end who's hiring recognizes that. Because I truly believe you're a soldier and an asset. How long until Sarah Huckabee goes as well? You know? My Lord. Folks, I will always champion for America to be great again. In fact, when I get my crap together, right, I got 3 more weeks. I'll get my information. When I get all my crap together, God willing, we're coming back stronger than we ever were. And I'm going to be louder than I ever was. Because we're in damage control. We absolutely need to figure out how it is that we do not allow the Democrats to come back into control. We have to figure it out. We have to figure it out, and I will. I'll think it out left to right, and we'll come up with something, and we'll move forward with it. But he's got to stop. He's got to limit the damage. And the way to limit the damage is just to shut up. Stop tweeting. Stop giving interviews to people who are literally trying to end your presidency. Stop thinking that you can outsmart everybody. Stop thinking that you're the smartest guy in the room. That is the most dangerous thing in the world. I have always said that if I were ever to take office and the day comes where I sit down and say, I'm the smartest guy in this room, I got to make changes. The point is to circle yourself around with people who are smarter than you. So this way you can take their advice, you can take their wisdom, you can take their knowledge, and you could use your leadership qualities to make the best decision. Doesn't mean you're not the best person in the room, or you're not the best leader in the room, but you can't always think you're the smartest guy in the room. And you know what? That's what his problem is. He thinks he's going to out-talk everybody because that's what he's done. This isn't trying to get your name on a building. This is the United States of America. Stop worrying how well you do in the press and start worrying about how well Americans do tomorrow. And yes, we've got some more jobs than we did yesterday. That's great. But let me give you the cold, hard facts because they always give you these numbers and they're always tainted with colors of BS. First of all, we've still got a massive amount of people who are out of the workforce. That's first of all. Number two, we're not seeing any uptick in wages. So although people are getting more jobs, they're working harder than ever before and they're taking home less. Let's not ignore that point. Let's not ignore the point that the healthcare issue is still hanging over everybody's head and their wallets. Okay, we still have massive amount of illegal hiring going on in this country because, damn it, you won't put E-Verify into place mandatory. There's so many different things that we still need to improve on. And as far as the stock market, President Trump, you're smart, man. You want to talk about the stock market? Go back in 2008, see where it was when Obama took office, and see where it was in 2016. You want to give him the credit for that huge spread? The stock market is cyclical. And yes, there's stuff built into it about promise that you have given. But at the same time is that market's going to go down and it's going to go up throughout your presidency, whether it's 4 or 8 years. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. And oh, by the way, Mr. President, you keep touting how great the stock market is, but most Americans don't own stocks. They're not feeling the upside of your championing for the stock market. The rich people are. The corporations with those stock prices are, but not anybody else. Hey, the Sean Spicer thing, I got it, but I'm on Facebook Live, so I couldn't address it. All right? You're going to go back and take care? All right. Anyway, a youngster. It's the last time I give him a lunch break. Lunch breaks. Did I say I was going to be on for 10 minutes? DML. Time management skills are horrible. I know. Horrible. Horrible. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, I've ranted long enough. If he could just shut his mouth for a while and tone back the BS and get himself focused again and stop with the CNN and the fake hashtags and all the other different crap. Ignore them to death and just shower them with facts. You know, people say, oh, DML, you got to post more good stuff about Trump. You know, you're always putting the negative. Guys, there's nothing to put out. We've put out everything there is. We have sliced the good job numbers 15 ways till Sunday. We're the ones who put out the stuff about Jeff Sessions. You didn't see it on Fox News. You didn't see it on CNN about the whole crackdown on the healthcare thing. 155,000 shares alone just on our website, not including Facebook. You telling me we're not putting out the good news? Please, get a grip. Get a grip. We're the only one putting out the real news. We're the only one. Everybody else is so tainted one way or another, you don't know what to believe. Seriously, it's just a joke. Good Lord. Mel, you're going to give yourself a heart attack. I know. I'm sweating. Look at how I'm sweating talking to you. I'm sweating. It's hot. You guys hot? Woo. I've got my DML trusted news worldwide. Worldwide. Not just in the U.S. Worldwide. DML, what else is going on? Give us some insight. Oh, I'll give you some insight. Sweating. Should have brought a water out. Beard is so gray. Anyway, so here's the deal. Oh my God, it's hot. So I get back a series of tests next week. So I'll start getting some answers about one thing that's taken place with yours truly. God, they took so much blood from me the other day. I was like, wait, is there anything left? The lady's like, you're looking a little peaked. I'm like, yeah, well, you just drained half of me. Anyway. Yeah, you can see, right? Look. Oh, this stuff is still on my arm. Yucky bandage. DML, grow up. You had blood taken. It's not the end of the world. I know. But it was like 5 million pages of like this and this and this and this and this. And the woman's like, well, a lot of blood from you today. I was like, thanks. And then it shakes the blood. She's like, can you pee in a cup? I'm like, I got no fluids left. Seriously. And she's like, oh, come on, it's not that hard. I said, listen, you got to drink a water or something. Anyway, all that stuff. So I get back all that stuff next week. And then, of course, I have a little procedure going on August 2nd. Find out what's going on. Now, we have, somebody yesterday on my letter, some guy, Mike, said, really hate to see that the donations were all squandered away. No, not at all. Okay. Not squandered away. My kids, and even now my youngest is involved. I said to my youngest, I need to hire you. I need you to leave that other job, and I need to hire you. All right, Dad. So now my other kid is involved. All my 3 kids right now, and all my great writers, they're all setting up the next studio. They got all the different stuff going on. Even Harlan. Because one of the computers that powers our monitor wall suddenly is not working. He's the one I got it from, and he put it together. And I reached out to him and said, Harlan, man, this thing ain't working. Can you fix it? Sure, I'll take a look at it. We sent it to him, and I think he's fixing it today. Our new studio should be ready middle of August. I'm saying should be because I don't know some of the information I'm going to be getting back about yours truly, so it may be a little bit of a delay. But assuming that things go in the right direction, middle of August, it's going to be not even what it was, but 10 times better. I got more stuff, keep on buying more stuff. I guess I'm a little bored. I keep buying more stuff. We could use another monitor here, another monitor here. So nothing was squandered away. We put out posts for proofreaders and for writers. We got in over 500 applicants. We're hiring 10 more people. We're going to have 3 websites. 3. Let me tell you what they are. Number 1, dmlnews.com. It is going to have more news than we have now. We're thinking probably about 100 stories per day. Some of it's going to be video, just yours truly, nobody else, just me. Some of it's going to be video. Some of it, most of it, will be written articles. Some of them long, some of them short. We just did a deal with another company. Just today it started, where we're now working with Facebook to get some of our articles up on Facebook directly. So we're making advancements, big ones. We've taken down a lot of the troublesome advertisements, and we've replaced it with a new ad company. The second website will remain DennisMichaelLynch.com. That is going to be more of a hangout place. What do you mean by that, DML? Okay. Where the DML news is strictly the news. The DML hangout is going to be more of health, more of good living. We're going to have the tab called Miss Mary's Cafe. She's going to be posting different stuff up there all the time. Stuff that can take you away from the 24/7 politics, but still be sort of news-based, informational-based. That's where a lot of my videos will wind up being in terms of stuff like this. We're going to have a club. I'm about to hire one of the guys who, well, I won't tell where he comes from. I'm about to hire a guy I did a lot of business with a couple of years ago who was pretty good at this stuff, and he is going to spearhead the whole thing with an 871 club where people come in and you're part of a club. So these different groups that go in and slam us and put out fake information about us and lies and whatever different stuff, and people get really upset about it. Now you don't have to do that anymore. We're going to have an 871 club. Everybody winds up getting screened before they come in. They're part of the family. I'm part of the 871 club. We have private conversations, videos that nobody else is involved in. You know, they're not out there, whatever. Maybe you come in. We're having Mary's designing this. We're coming up with a movie night where we're going to take a movie. Instead of a book club, it's like a movie club. We're going to take a movie. We're going to put it up on the site. We'll all watch it. And then we can have a whole discussion about it. Lots of fun stuff to where, you know, it's not all gloom and doom. The third site, get ready for this. The third site is one that already exists, but one that we haven't done anything with since the election was over. And that's called Fighting for Trump. We are reigniting that because as disappointed as I am with the president as a person, I still champion for him. I still pray for his success. I still champion for the policies that I believe in, and the American workers and the American soldiers and the American Marines and the American veterans and the American moms and the American dads and all the kids out there. We still champion for that. And we're going to still champion hard for those things to get through, although a much harder fight. So the Fighting for Trump page exclusively puts up positive things regarding the administration and what it is that it is accomplishing. That's all it does. There's never a negative thing. There's never a negative. If there is a terror attack in Washington, D.C., it will not be on Fighting for Trump unless the Trump administration has done something really good about that terror attack. That's it. Those are the three websites. And we have all the writers. We're hiring all these people. We are making really good advancements on my downtime. So, that being said, I gave you 10 minutes. What is it? I think we went for 11 minutes. 12? All right, 14. Anyway, I'm not coming back on again until something really bad happens, like President Trump goes on the New York Times and throws Ben Carson under the bus. I won't be coming back until after August 2nd. That's it. All right? I promised my wife and my children no walk and talks, no letters to the presidents. I'm taking time away for myself to try to get healthy. And so I had to make a list of all the things I can do and can't do. And one of the things I can't do are these extra things because they take time away from other stuff that I need to be doing. All right? But I came in today. I appreciate your love and your thoughts and all the great emails. Please continue to visit the website. Please continue to share the articles. I'm involved with all of it all day long. As you can see, you know, breaking news, Dad. I know. Anyway, you know, And I thank you for your continued support. All right? So, that being said, may God bless you. May God bless our troops. May God bless our president. May God bless these United States of America. And may God bless Jeff Sessions. He is a good man who always does the right thing. And that's that. Now it's time to go shave. Bye. There was always a risk with Trump. There was a risk that his ego would work against us. I made more videos saying about let his ego work for you, because I truly believed that he was so egotistical that he would want to be on that Mount Rushmore, that he would want his legacy to live on long after he did. I truly believed that that was going to be the case, that he was going to outsmart, outwit, outplay the media and the liberals. And that is what he did during that campaign, better than anybody in American history. He figured out how to get the media to cover him without having to spend the gazillions of dollars to do so. And yet, it's like the movie Dave. In the movie Dave, the president who is elected winds up going into a coma. And I think he did so because he was having an affair or something to that level. And so they tried to cover it up in the White House. And they go and they get a body double, Kevin Kline, who goes in and now is playing Dave. But he changes all the things that the president was never doing correctly. And he starts his own agenda. Of course, it's liberal Hollywood, so it's all a liberal agenda. That's the movies. And it's a different guy than was originally in there. This, to me, has been what it is that we have been going through. We have seen a different guy than the one that we expected. Now, do I want that to be the case? Of course not. Television show and my very popular posts at that given time, which we later transitioned into a full hour walk and talk. But if you remember, we used to get 11, 12,000, 15,000 at sometimes people on these live things. Nobody gets those numbers, especially on Facebook Live, because there's so much content. I did everything I could to get this man elected because I believed that America needed a few things. Number one, it needed somebody from the outside. Number two, it needed somebody who believed that immigration was the problem that it has been for decades, because it touches so many different things. I believed we needed somebody with business experience. I believed we needed somebody who knew how to handle the media and wasn't afraid to throw elbows around when in the presence of those in D.C. Sean Spicer resigns as White House press secretary. Yeah, that's another way of saying that President Trump told him to get the hell out. Another mistake. Another mistake. An onslaught of mistakes. Just an onslaught of friggin' mistakes. That's the breaking news. Unbelievable. We'll get to that in a second. You're watching the unraveling. You're watching it happen in real time. Anyhow, blame everybody else but yourself. So anyhow, and to him, the 30 previous, I've always kept them to 250 words or less, give or take 20, 30 words. And that is because I recognize the fact that he's a very busy person. He is limited in terms of the sort of bandwidth that he can give to these sort of things. And I just felt as if it was the smart thing for me to, keep it brief, to the point, and always supportive. Always supportive these. Sorry, my son was just trying to call. Always supportive. And to that degree, sorry, there's apparently breaking news. Of course it's breaking news when I'm on here, but he continues to try to call me. Anyway, long story short, I felt as if I had to make this letter long. And I actually chopped it down by about 500 words because there were other things that I wanted to say involved in where I think things are. And I just said, I'll save it for another day. Like you, I put an incredible amount I mean, an incredible amount of time, energy, love, support, reputation on the line to try to get President Trump elected. In fact, I defy you to go to Sean Hannity's. Hold on. I know. What do you want me to do? I'm doing a Facebook Live. He's trying to call me. I don't know what to tell him. Okay, I don't know what to tell him. Have him call Anita. All right, I'm on Facebook Live. What do you want me to do? Do you realize the? Hey, I don't think the numbers will jump up all too much here because we're not putting out any kind of alert, and who knows? I haven't done these Facebook Live things in quite a while. John Brewer says hi. John's my first guy in here. Jean Marie says morning. Good morning. Actually, it's afternoon, I think, where I am. Hi, DML. Emmy Battle says miss you. Hello from New York. DML says Lydia. Jerry Larson says hey, stranger. And Nancy says boy, we miss you. Okay, we're at 500. I guess I'm going to start at this. I'm only going to be on this, today for pretty much 10 minutes. I apologize for being 2 minutes behind the 8 ball in terms of, I said I'd come in on noon, but for some reason I was having a really hard time logging on. Maybe it's because I haven't been doing it in a while. Facebook's like, hey, we thought we got rid of this guy. No. DML, you going to shave soon? Yeah, I'll shave today. All right, so anyway, let's get the elephant in the room discussed, shall we? Elephant? What elephant, DML? Looks beautiful there. Yeah, I know, it does look beautiful today, right? Not a cloud in the sky, American flags waving, the whole thing's going on. It's good to be alive, isn't it? Well, look, I wrote a scathing letter to the president last night, and I haven't sent it yet to him, to be honest. I'm going to send it this morning. I've been so busy this morning. I really would have liked to add more. If you know about my other letters that I've sent. In fact, how many phone calls I get? I mean, I get all these phone calls when I go on Facebook Live. This happened last time. Last time was the doctor's office needing to tell me, hey, DML, we need you to say that you're you. All right? Yeah. Now my son's trying to tell me, there's breaking news. Yeah, I don't know. What's the breaking news? It doesn't matter. Breaking news is DML's on Facebook Live. Anyhow, somebody will handle it. It's all right. The world's not going to fall apart in 5 minutes. But anyhow, I put, like you, I don't want to individualize this. A lot of people put a lot of effort into getting President Trump elected. And I defy you to go to, let's say, Sean Hannity's Facebook page and find one post or one video that has more than 100,000 shares. Not 100,000 views. 100,000 shares. You go back to my page prior to the election, when people were sitting on that fence, the independents, because the independents were always my target, on whether or not they should vote for Trump or not. Over 100,000 shares of one of my posts. And when you go back and you look at some of the other posts that I've made about the Electoral College and all the other different things, and talking to people like they're human beings, not talking down to them, but explaining some of these more complex things that take place in Washington, D.C. and elections and what have you. I truly believe that I did play a very good role and strong role in helping the president get elected. Between my